Hi, in today's video I'm going to take a look at Firefox desktop notifications, excluding cookies from being cleared when you close Firefox, and picture-in-picture mode. So Firefox desktop notifications are useful because they can work with websites like YouTube, so you get notifications for comments on your videos. So what I'm going to do is come across and show you how to get this set up, and also how to stop the cookies being cleared when you quit Firefox. So come across to your Firefox, your YouTube settings, and come across to the notifications tab. Then what you want to do is enable notifications in this browser. Now, the most recent versions of Firefox have got support for native messages. So what that means is that the messages will actually appear up in the GNOME notification center on Ubuntu. If you're using other desktop environments, they'll behave slightly differently, but it also work with window managers if you're using something like Dunst for notifications. So that's the first step. The next thing that you actually want to do is make sure to exclude cookies from being deleted for these particular sites we want notifications for. So what we're going to do is come into our settings down here for Firefox and come across to privacy and security. Now there's two things. One is making sure the cookies aren't deleted, but I'll just switch down here to the notification section down here. If you click settings, what you'll see down here is you can put in when you have the site will usually ask you if you want to allow notifications, and it'll come up with a little sort of pop up over here. And this is where they're stored, so you can actually set particular sites to allow notifications or block notifications. So that's the first thing to check, is that you've actually got the notifications allowed for that particular site. Now the next thing we're going to do is, what I like to do is delete cookies and site data when Firefox is closed. And I'll also set Firefox to clear history when it's closed as well. But what we want to do is set it so that particular websites will retain their cookies so that we don't have to log in every time we start up Firefox. So all you need to do is delete cookies and site data when Firefox is closed, and then come across to manage exceptions. And in here, what you can do is you can put in the address of websites that you want to be allowed to bypass having their data cleared. So, for instance, GitHub, ITV, Channel 4, YouTube.com. And what this will do is, once you've logged in and you quit Firefox, when you restart it, you'll still be logged in. And this is just something that's handy for websites you visit often. So you can actually have Firefox clear all the cookies and everything except for certain sites that you want to allow. So that's how we do that. And there was just something else I was thinking of while I was doing that I've now forgotten. So let me see if it comes back to me. So that's how we can set the data to be saved. So if I were to quit Firefox, restart it, we'd still be logged in. And again, that's useful because what that means is, combined with the notifications, when you start up Firefox, it will still retain you being logged into YouTube, and so you'll still get the sort of notifications. So that's how we set the manage exceptions so that we basically stay logged in. Now the next thing I want to have a look at is Firefox picture-in-picture mode. This is a couple of notes about its behavior, and that it's actually got keyboard shortcuts that you might not be aware of. So if I come across to a video over here, so just get it till the video comes up. So what you'll see is you'll see the little picture-in-picture icon here. Now, if you right-click on the video, what you see is there's a YouTube context menu here. So what you either have to do, there's two ways to do this. You can either right-click twice, and that will then bring up the contextual menu for the picture-in-picture, like play, mute, full screen, that sort of thing. Or you can press Shift and right-click, and that will go directly to the Firefox picture-in-picture menu. So a single right-click will show the YouTube menu, a double right-click will show the picture-in-picture menu, and a Shift right-click will show the picture-in-picture menu. So obviously if you click this, it's going to pop the video out like so. And you'll see a little button down here where you can pop it back. But there's actually a keyboard shortcut for this. So if we come across to the picture-in-picture, keyboard shortcut, Control Shift right bracket. So that's a bracket. The curly ones are curly braces and the other one's parentheses. So curly shift right bracket. And what that will do is that will toggle popping the window out and back in again. So Control Shift right bracket will pop the window out, and Control Shift right bracket will pop it back in again. Now if you want to go full screen, what you have to do is actually double click the video. You can see here it now goes full screen. What I want to show you is something about the behavior of videos depending on their aspect ratio and how they look if you use F11 to put something full screen. So F11 is a keyboard shortcut that applies to most applications that will toggle them going full screen. And I rebind this keyboard shortcut to Super S because it's easier to use. So if I do F11, what you'll see is with this particular video, because it's a 4:3 aspect ratio, using F11 will put it full screen, but because it's got no bars, it will put it to the left of the display. So if I can take that out of full screen. If you're using a 4:3 video and you try and F11 it, it's not going to work properly because you'll get this like that. If I just put this back and come across to another video that actually got there we go. Let's do Sven Botman. So I'll just pause this once it starts. So this has got a 16:9 aspect ratio, and if I pop this video out like so, what you'll see is when I run F11 that it will actually go full screen without it being shifted to the left of the display. So F11 to put these picture-in-picture videos full screen only works if they're in a aspect ratio that matches your monitor. So if you've got a 4:3 monitor and you open a 4:3 video and put it full screen, it'll work. If you've got a 16:9 display and you put a 4:3 full screen with F11, you're going to get that weird behavior where it's sort of shifted to the left and you've got a big empty space on the right. So that was just some notes on how picture-in-picture works, and what I wanted to do was also come through some other websites and show you how it works on those compared to Chromium. So let me just finish this tea. Right, so what I'm going to do is come across to I'll open up Chromium, and what I'm going to do is open up channel 4 on ITV. Okay, here we can see. Can you see this pop up? That's great. So this is handy. So you can see this is a notification that has come through from a YouTube comment here, and let's see if this will this. Okay, so what's happening is the issue with these pop-ups that I wanted to mention, and it's handy that this came up, is they don't actually link to the comment. So what you'll get typically with these is sometimes you'll actually get a picture displayed here of the person sending a notification, and it will come up with the text here, and it's actually giving a link to like YouTube. And that's the other thing I want to do, is actually go through the settings. That's what I was trying to remember. There's the settings in GNOME for how the notifications work. But as you can see, when I clicked on it, this link, it doesn't actually link to the comment. And if you just click it, what you'll see is it disappeared. Right, in today's video, I'm going to be covering how to remove TV logos and other objects from videos using the FFmpeg logo filter. Why does that come up there? Maybe that's is that a notification from Chrome? Actually, there might be a notification from Chrome coming in as opposed to Firefox. So let me just put that back on the other thing. But what I wanted to show you was that the notifications don't actually link to the page that they've come from. So unfortunately, you can get notifications for comments coming up, and what will happen is you'll click them and it'll just dismiss them. So when you actually click the notifications, it will hide them from the notification view. But annoyingly, even though it gives you, like, you know, a link that says YouTube, it doesn't actually link to the comment page. So you can't actually have a comment come in here and click it and be taken to the page the comment was on so that you can respond. You still actually have to go through, come to your notification, and click there and respond. So it's that's kind of annoying. It would be nice if there was some integration by clicking the notification and taking you to the page, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. But just while I remember, what I wanted to do is come into the settings and notifications. So settings, notifications, Firefox, and these are the settings that I've got enabled: notifications, sound alerts, notification pop-ups. Notifications will continue to appear in the notifications list when pop-ups are disabled. Show message content in pop-ups. I think that's to show the text. And you've got stuff here for the lock screens. But I just wanted to show you where the actual notifications were and some of the options you can turn on and off. So if the messages aren't showing up like the actual text, make sure show message content in pop-ups is available. So that's just something I wanted to show you on the pop-up side. But what I want to show you here is let's come across to like one of these. So I just want to show you the difference between Chromium and Firefox and how videos are played, and how using Firefox is more convenient. Because if you've got two monitors, typically what you have is you have your browser open here. You know, you open a video and you have to put it in, open another browser window to put it on the other display. So I'm just going to open this and stop it as soon as it starts playing. And it eventually starts playing, like sometime today. Okay, so what I want to show you is in Chromium there is no pop-up. So with this, you see picture-in-picture is listed here. So if I was on YouTube, for example, let's just click a random video. So on YouTube, if I
new public transport project,
if I right click twice in YouTube on Chromium, you'll actually get the picture in picture come up. Okay, so you can now see the picture in picture has come up here, quite small. And go back to tab like that. But if I'm on another site like Channel 4, as you can see, when I'm right clicking, there's no picture in picture available, so it's blocked by this site. So if we're wanting to watch this, what we have to do is we got to sort of, have two browser windows open, one here, and then move this one across to another monitor. So that's a bit annoying. So I just wanted to show you that, and also the same with ITV. So if we just come across, pick something at random. Okay. Right, so if I try right clicking on this, you can see nothing's actually happening at all. So the right click is totally disabled on the ITV player here. I've got no option to bring this up into a picture-in-picture mode at all. So if I come across to Firefox now, and just switch across back here. Yep, open up Channel 4. Okay, let's open up Gogglebox. And again, I'm not going to play these just for copyright issues, it's just so I can show you the behavior. Okay, so you'll see we've got the pop-up here, so we can actually just click that. And we can also use the keyboard shortcut, so that's Control Shift Right. Ah, you bastard. Okay, so we can use Control Shift Right bracket, and that's going to pop the video out. The other thing I wanted to show you is if you're using GNOME, there's a keyboard shortcut you might not be aware of, which is Alt Space. So if you press Alt Space, what it will do is bring up this little pop-up menu on the window you've got focus. So you can do take screenshot, hide, maximize, move, resize, always on top, always on visible workspace, move to workspace left, move to workspace right, move to monitor right. So what you can do is, suppose you want to have this always above. So what you can do is just press Alt Space and then use your arrow keys and go always on top. So that will now always be on top like that. So you can sort of resize this and then have it set to be always on top, and it will carry on playing. So that's a nice advantage that you've got that Chromium doesn't. So if I just bring that back to a bigger size, you can then deselect that. But what's really useful is being able to move to monitor right. So what you can do is use the keyboard shortcut Control Shift Right bracket, then do Alt Space, and then come down here and go move to monitor right. Move that to your main display, and then you can say if it's a 16:9, you can move your mouse across to the other screen and put it full screen, or you can double click it to go full screen. And is that coming out? Now the other thing I wanted to mention is if you hover over this icon here and right click on it, what you'll see is two options: hide picture in picture toggle, and there's a setting in Firefox settings for disabling picture in picture. So I'll just come across here. So in picture in picture, in Firefox settings, privacy and security, if you scroll down, where is it? Is it in this one? I thought it was in this one. Is it in general? It might be in general. I think it's in general actually. Yeah, so general enable picture-in-picture control. So that's where you enable it. But you can also right click in here and go hide picture-in-picture toggle, which will just hide the toggle there. I'm not sure if the keyboard shortcut still works if you hide it. So I'm not sure if hiding the toggle is the same as disabling it. But the other option is you have move picture-in-picture toggle to left side. So what you can do then is the actual toggle button you've got to click will be on the left as opposed to the right. So you can move the toggle button from the left to the right like that. But what I wanted to show you was that on Chromium, certain sites will use the video site's built-in player, and you won't be able to pop it out or do anything like that. But Firefox overrides the built-in player from the website so that you can actually still pop this out using the keyboard shortcut, move it around, and then do useful stuff like always on top, like that. I'll just move that back. And have easy access to actually move this to another workspace or to another monitor. So that's really useful because what you can do is have your browser open here, and instead of having to open another browser window and open the video and move it across to another display so you can watch the video and browse at the same time, what you can do is just pop the video out. Oops.
Jesus, what you doing?
You can just pop the video out and then actually have it up here, always on top if you've just got a single monitor, or move it across to your other monitor and have it full screen. So what I'll do is actually show you the same thing on ITV. So we've got ITV here, and what we'll just do is come across to something. Okay, let's come across to Bless This House. Good old Sid James. So what I want to do is show you the difference between the players. So as I showed you in Chromium on ITV, right clicking is actually totally disabled. You can see here I can't right click on the video at all, yeah, but we still have the picture-in-picture option, which we can click to pop the video out. So we can pop the video out here, and we can use the keyboard shortcut. So use the keyboard shortcut, if I can actually select the video to make it bigger, and then do always on top, and you can see we now got the video floating always on top. So this is useful, if you've just got one display, you're just on your laptop and you want to watch a video, you can pop the video out, have it always on top, and it will always stay on top. You can see as I shifted workspaces, can you see how when I shifted workspaces, the video vanished? So what you can do is you can do always on visible workspace. So can we do both those options at the same time? So yeah, so we can have both these options selected at the same time. And now when I switch workspaces, the window is on all the visible workspaces. So those are the two settings you probably want to have, always on top and always on visible workspace, so that if you're using a pop-up picture-in-picture video, that you can carry on watching it as you switch between workspaces like that. So let's come back in there. So again, the right click is totally disabled, but we still have the little toggle button come up here, and even if you can't see the toggle button on a site, you can press Control Shift right bracket. You can see it's going to pop out. We can now move that around, resize it. Again, you can press the keyboard shortcut on Gnome of Alt Space to bring up this menu, and there are keyboard shortcuts for these. For instance, I have a keyboard shortcut to move a window to monitor right, so just press my keyboard shortcut and it moves it to my main display, so I can then put it full screen, and it's much nicer. The other thing is you actually have a interface in the notification center here, so that you can play and stop videos, and depending on the site, you'll either get a blank icon like this, or you'll get something actually showing you what the video is. So if I close ITV and come across to this, okay, you can see here on YouTube we actually get the little thumbnail showing the actual video there. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is how the notifications work. So most desktop environments will have a built-in notification system that you can't actually disable and replace. So if you're on a tiling window manager, you can use something like Dunst, which you can customize a lot. But if you're on a regular desktop, you can't really do anything. You just have to be stuck with the way the notifications work. And what I wanted to show you was actually how the format of the notification. So there's a program called Notify Send, which can send notifications. So notify send test, you see that comes up here. And what you have is you actually have a format. The first one is the first block up here is the title, then you have the body. So what I can do is notify send cool video. What we want is double quotes, put the URL in, double quotes, and what you'll see here is we get the came up, and you can actually specify an icon for these things, but I just wanted to show you, you can actually put a URL in the notification, and as you see when I click that, it actually opens to that page. So you can put URLs in the notifications like this. It's just that the notifications for the YouTube comments just have a URL for YouTube. They don't seem to have the full URL to where the comments coming from. And I just wanted to show you that you can have URLs in the notification that will work when you click them. And is this now gone? Let me just put this onto number 2. Now, the funny thing is, I think okay, so what I wanted to do was also show you the difference. You can see this one here, where the first one, what I did was I said notify send cool video and then the URL. In this, which worked as a, let me show you. So that comes up with the underlined link here, you can see, and that means you can click it. If I actually just send the URL like that, what you'll see is it's not a clickable link. And the reason for this is because the stuff between the first double quotes is the title and the next bit is the body, and the title can't contain a URL. So this, come here, you bastard. Right. So that's the title, and come on, you didn't. This is the body. So you can see there it comes up. This is the title. This is the body. So URLs will work in the body, but not in the title section. So it's just to show you how this works, and that you can actually have notifications with clickable links in them. It's just that YouTube doesn't seem to actually do that. So let's go over a quick recap of what we've done. First of all, we went into our YouTube account. We went to notifications. I don't know why it's got this turned off now. It's weird. It kept toggling it off. Maybe it's because I had the other browser open or something. Um, get notifications in this browser. Then what we did was, this is where we had the picture in picture. We come to privacy and security, and down here we have the notifications, and we can allow or block for particular sites. Next thing we did was, let's see, privacy and security. What we've got under history is clear history when Firefox closes, and delete cookies and site data when Firefox is closed. And we come across to manage exceptions, and what we do is we put in the URL for the actual website, the base URL, www.youtube.com, channel4.com, etc. And you can basically set these to, can you edit these? Doesn't look like you can change them once you've added them, so you actually have to remove it and re-add it. So you can actually put in something, a block or allow for session or allow. So this will just basically keep the cookies so that we're always logged in. So that's the settings for the notifications. And again, we had the, was it under, was the picture in picture? Under general, yeah, the general is where you enable picture in picture. And the other thing that we had was the notification settings. So notifications, Firefox, and check all these. If you want the messages on the lock screen, I presume that means when you're about to log in, so you can change that so it doesn't show messages on the lock screen. But that's how we set the notifications up. And again, this was the picture-in-picture page for Firefox with some of the tips explaining how this works. And this is how to access the picture-in-picture via the context menu. So this section here, many sites, however, make it difficult to access the context menu for web videos. YouTube, for example, overrides the default context menu with their own. You can get the default native context menu by either holding shift while right clicking or double clicking. So that's what I'm showing you is on these videos. If you right click once, you get this menu. Double click, double right click, and you'll get this menu for the picture in picture, or you can just do shift right click. The other thing that we covered was, oops, you right click on this, you can hide the picture in picture toggle, and you can move the picture in picture toggle to the left side, so it comes up over here. If you just find that, if you're always using the picture in picture and you you click, you open up a video and you get fed up with having to move your mouse all the way over here to click the picture in picture thing, you can now move it to this side, or you can just hit the keyboard shortcut, which again is Control Shift right bracket. And these are some of the other shortcuts you can use that I generally don't bother with. And to close the window, you can just Control W to close the window. So that's the picture in picture and how that works. And now you can pop it out, and then again use the keyboard shortcut Alt Space if you're on GNOME, and you can then set this to be always on top, always on visible workspace. So always on top, always on visible workspace. Move that up there, and you'll see it's now stuck there on top of the videos and all the workspaces. And we just come back to the actual video, and then you can plonk this. You can plonk this back in by clicking that button. You can close it, or I think the keyboard short. If you've got this focused here, you can press the keyboard shortcut to pop it back in. So Control Shift right bracket will pop it back in, pop it out, pop it back in. So it's a bit more convenient than moving your mouse over here. And as I said, this little toggle icon will appear on all video sites, basically. Even things like Channel 4 and ITV, which disable the picture-in-picture in Chromium. You can still do it in Firefox, either by the little toggle or by pressing the keyboard shortcut. And that's going to then allow you to float it up here or move it to your other display and put it full screen. And again, the other thing I wanted to just mention was putting this full screen with F11. You can see here, because it's 16:9, it's popping in perfectly. But if we come across and go back to one of those Fred Dibner videos, which are recorded in 4:3, you can see 4:3 here. When I pop this out, you can see it's actually. Let me just see if I can. Alright, so let me just pop this back out and see if I can. I don't know why I must have scaled it really small. Hang on a sec. There we go. So this video, if I pop it full screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. Is because it's a 4:3, it will align to the left. It won't be centered in the screen, and you'll have the space that would have been taken up by the black bars either side to get it to be in a 16:9 aspect ratio. You'll get this big long thing here. Okay, so if you're watching a 4:3 video, you can't full screen it with F11 because you'll get this weird behavior. So what you need to do is double click it, and as you can see, once you double click it, you'll have the vertical bars either side so that it's displayed properly in your window. Whereas if we F11 it, there's no bars. Yeah, so that's why you get this odd behavior. So there's just a couple of things I wanted to go through about picture-in-picture mode, and also the sort of notifications and how they behave, and how, unfortunately, even though you can get notifications for comments on your YouTube channel come up natively in the GNOME desktop, it'll come up with, the picture of, the channel, the icon of the person making the comment. It will show you the comment and give you like a little link to YouTube. It doesn't actually link to the actual page that has got the comment on it. So clicking the actual comment will just take you to YouTube, and you'll still have to come across and look under your notifications down here to respond to the comment. But it's handy because at least okay, something's come in, someone's having a problem with some video I did or whatever, and then you can come across and respond. So it's quite useful for that. The only thing is, once you sort of click these, they disappear and you can't bring them back. So that's a bit annoying with this. If you actually click the comment, it will sort of make it sort of disappear, and there isn't a way to bring them back and view previous comments. So that's just some of the behavior of how the comment system works on the GNOME desktop. And the desktop notification should work across all desktop environments, whether it's Cinnamon, XFCE, Mate, whatever. They should all pop up desktop notifications for your YouTube channel. And it should also work with Dunst, as I said, which is a lightweight desktop notification daemon that's typically used with window managers. So that will work as well. So this is just to basically show you the advantage of using Firefox over Chromium to watch your videos, and also how to make sure that you're actually still logged in. So, I can close all these. So if I close all these now and I reopen Firefox, it's cleared all the site data. But I'm still logged in. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is Firefox containers. So Firefox container is a add-on by Mozilla that allows you to set specific sites to operate in a container where all the data is in that container. The cookies, all the site data is stored in this container separate from everything else. And I use this with, let's come across managed containers. So what I do typically is create containers for like Google, sort of GitHub, DuckDuckGo, Transmission, which is my torrent client, so that anything I search for in Google is stored in its own separate container, and the cookies don't interact with any sites that I visit. Now, what I wanted to mention was that previously I was actually, when I wasn't logged in, I was setting YouTube to be in its own YouTube container. So if I just come back across to here, actually, so GitHub, Google. So when I open this, you can create a container and you can manage the site list. So you can set this to limit it to designated sites. And here's the site list, and it's just set to Google. So anything on Google is going to be opened in this Google container. So if I type Google, what you'll see up here is it's running in this Google container. Now, what I wanted to mention was trying to sign in, putting YouTube in a container and trying to sign into it doesn't work, because what YouTube does is it logs in with your Google account. So what it does is it opens a accounts.google.com page where you have to put in your username, password, and two-factor authentication. And because you've just set it to only allow YouTube in this container, it doesn't actually log in. You'll get into this kind of login loop where it won't actually log in to YouTube in the container. And the issue is because it's got to use the accounts.google.com thing. So the problem with that is then if you then sign in, I think the problem with that is then you might be signed in to Google actually when you're sort of Googling. I don't want to be signed into Google here when I'm searching for stuff. So that's just one issue I came across with the Firefox containers and trying to sign into YouTube is it didn't like it at all. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out. But this is really handy because, as I said, you can clear all the site data but still be logged into these sites. So you can see here I'm logged into Channel 4, logged into YouTube, or ITV. So it just makes it handy. Reopen the browser, you're still logged into the sites you want, but all the other data is cleared and all the other cookies are cleared. This is quite handy, and it's just useful to be able to have it set up this way so that if you open up Firefox, you're going to be logged into YouTube, and you'll get desktop notifications for any comments that come in actually show up on your desktop. But one thing I have noticed is that sometimes what happens is you can see if I put, at the moment we've got the notification thingy up here. If you actually have the window full screen, so let's see if I can get this to, so if I do notify send here, you see there's no notification shows up because I'm in full screen. But if I come out of full screen, you'll see here's the notification. So that's just one gotcha, is that the notifications don't appear if you're full screen. I think there were maybe extensions to get around this, but by default, as you can see, if you've put the window full screen using F11, then it's not going to display the notification. So we've got the bar up here. We can see this is the body, there's the link. But if I put this full screen, you're not going to see the notification until you actually switch to a workspace that's not in full screen, and then you'll see the actual notification, and you can click here. If you actually click these, the difference with these is if you click you click the link, it will open. If you actually click the notification itself, it will dismiss it. So actually clicking the notification itself will dismiss the whole notification. So you actually have to click any link like that. So that was just another little gotcha about the notifications, is that they don't show up if you're in full screen using F11. They only show up if the title bar up here is visible. And I said there are some extensions that allow you to have the notifications full screen, but I'm running NVIDIA and Wayland, and you can't open the extensions manager at all. So if I come across to here and I try and open the extension, so like extensions or extensions manager, boom, just won't open at all. So that's why I don't use extensions, because the extension manager won't open on Wayland at all running NVIDIA. So that's just another little thing. I think you could probably switch to X or install the extension and then switch back to Wayland. The other thing is, just from memory, I think I saw something that I think Dunst maybe has native Wayland support, the latest version. But as I said, because you can't replace the built-in notifications on GNOME with Dunst, because you just can't. The notifications too tightly integrated into the whole desktop, so you can't switch to Dunst from using these notifications. So it was just a couple of notes about how the notifications work as well. So that was covering, and we get the desktop notifications set up in YouTube, where we have to enable those, what we have to do on the desktop side to get them working, how they behave, and also the picture-in-picture, how that works, and all the keyboard shortcuts, what happens when you put it in full screen in different aspect ratios, and also how we can retain the cookies for particular sites, but clear all the data for other sites in Firefox. So hopefully that gets you getting a bit more out of Firefox and video playback. And I'd say that the ability to actually use picture-in-picture in Firefox is a killer over Chromium-based browsers, because they force you to use the built-in player, and typically they might not allow you to pop it out. You can't put the picture, you can't pop the video out, you can't put it to be displayed. There's a mini window here that's going to be displayed on all your workspaces, like you can do with Firefox picture-in-picture. So have a look at picture-in-picture on Firefox, because it's got some nice tweaks. As it said, you pop it out, Alt, so pop it out with Control Shift right bracket, Alt space, always on top, Alt space again, always on visible workspace, move it up there, and now you've got a nice little video that's playing all your workspaces that you can't do with Chromium. So select that, and then to put it back in, Control Shift right bracket, and it'll pop back in. So that's some tips with Firefox. notifications, picture in picture, and staying logged in and clearing all your other data. So hope that helps, and that's all for now.